Buzzworthy Radio is on. The entertainment show that gets you up close and personal with today's hottest stars. Here's your host, Navelle J. Lee.
Hey guys, it's Navelle J. Lee and welcome into a new Buzzcast here at Buzzworthy Radio. I had the chance to sit down and speak with two of the actors from the web series Acting Dead, Brian Beacock and Jillian Clare. We got to talk to them about their characters in the show. Basically, it's zombies trying to make it in the Hollywood lifestyle. We also got to talk to them about the Indie Series Awards that took place back in April of this year. All that plus much, much more with Jillian Clare and Brian Beacock. Take a listen. I was just telling Brian, I was just like, I think I was living my own Acting Dead scenario this past week because I was so feverish. I had 100.7 fever the last few days. I'm finally coming off of it, and I was probably like slugging around work for like the past few days. So yeah, that's
I
been
heard
my
that's going around. I heard
Yeah.
that's happening. My friend Natalie, I was supposed to see her for lunch today, and she called me just like almost in tears. She was shaking and had a fever and was throwing up, and I was like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Something's going around.
Yeah. That was pretty much me. Minus the tears and everything, but I was shivering. I was shivering and everything of the sort. Everything else aside from that, aside from the crying, I was doing. So, yeah. it was not pretty at all. So, yeah, I probably would have not been hired by anybody from Acting Dead, but because it was just
You never know.
It was just that unpretty. So maybe I could have been. You never know. So this is true. You never know. But Acting Dead, though, it's kind of hysterical. I started watching it, and let me tell you, I just looked at it and I was like, wow, it's a whole different spin on the life of Hollywood because even when you're dead, you can't get anything. So
That's right.
Yep.
That's LA, man. That's Hollywood.
I mean, really?
It is.
Like, really?
Yeah.
Even when you're gone to the afterlife and you come back as a zombie, you can't even find work and pay the bills. I mean, that's just sad.
There's always going to be a younger, more attractive
Yeah.
zombie that's going to take your job.
And it's more than likely going to be, some Australian that came over and decided to take the American actor's work.
Yeah, the Australian undead taking over the world.
I tell you what, those Australians are taking over. It's starting to piss me off a little bit.
Just ever so slightly. And even I'm sitting here, I'm going like, how come, Alex, she's younger, she's prettier, she's dead, and she still can't find work. What's wrong with that? I don't understand. Maybe
Yeah,
I don't know.
She unfortunately, as you know, the process didn't necessarily go as planned for Alex. And had it gone well, maybe it would have been a little bit better. But of course, Jillian, your Alex's behavior is
Nothing
what
goes my
screwed her
way.
up years
Yeah.
ago. I mean, she dug her own grave before she was ever dead.
That's true. She did. Well, for good reason. I mean, this town would drive anybody to that amount of anger.
It's true. Yeah, Alex only does what everyone else wants to do.
Oh.
Exactly. I
So-
just get to live truthfully. If anything, they should just hire me more because they just know I'm speaking the truth.
Okay.
There you go.
So she's like a dead Daria. Okay.
That's exactly what she is. I totally thought of Daria when I first read the script and saw how Alex was.
I did too. After watching the first episode, I was like, she's totally Daria, but she's just dead. That's really
Yep.
all it was. I am so glad I was not the only one that thought that. Okay, good. I now do not feel alone. Awesome. Now, I heard an interesting story. I really want to know if this is true, Brian. When you came up with the concept of Acting Dead, you actually just thought of this while you were on the 405?
Yeah, I was just driving. I live a really solitary life. Jillian knows. Like, I work in a little cubicle sometimes for Disney, or I like to go for runs by myself, or I do voiceovers by myself. So I have a lot of time to just think. And of course, in LA, if you've ever been on the 405 freeway at 3 p.m.,
Oh my God.
it's terrible.
The worst thing ever.
So, yeah, it's the worst thing. So I was just sitting there in my, now recently dead car with no air conditioning, and maybe it was the heat that made me come up with it, but I saw everyone around me as zombies and then just assumed that they were probably actors since they were in LA, and I just thought, well, they probably don't have it any better than the dead people. Like, what would a zombie actor face as an issue in Los Angeles? Because it's still LA. It's still still terrible, in the best possible way. And that's kind of where the idea started.
Awesome. I mean, come on, let's be real here. I mean, if real actors can't find work sitting in cars, just whatever, would it be any better for dead people trying to find work?
Exactly. Maybe they're not affected by the heat as much. Who knows? Maybe they don't need AC. But
I want to know what they eat, aside from human flesh. But this is coming off from somebody that watches The Walking Dead, so...
Yeah, I mean, in Acting Dead, the thing is that zombies don't necessarily have to eat brains. They're just, drama queens and anemic. So they basically
they're basically just like Hollywood people. I mean, really.
Yeah, exactly. It's their favorite, no doubt, but they don't have to do it. So, they're selfish just like, all the rest of us actors in LA.
I see. Very, very good. I actually heard that you actually just had a screening last night?
Was it last night, Jillian, or the night before? I think it was the night before. But yes, at El Cid. At El Cid, it was great. It's actually a really great little restaurant and screening place that I'd never heard about before in Silver Lake. And we screen with a bunch of other web series. I guess they do it every third Wednesday of the month, called Web Series Unplugged, and you can find them on Facebook. And it was really fun. It's a nice way to kind of see a different group of people than the people you typically see at web festivals, and a lot of creators and stuff. And it was great. It was really great.
I just think it's amazing how I've been seeing everything on Facebook coming through about the Acting Dead has been accepted to this festival. Then it's been accepted to this festival and that festival. I'm sure both of you guys are just sitting there going like, this is a huge thrill for all of us, and it's amazing how everything came together, especially in the mere fact that I heard that you guys only did this in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, 10 days. Well, yeah, we shot for 10 days, basically.
Yeah, we shot for 10 days over a 3-week period. I mean, definitely there was a lot of prep with getting the cast and crew and locations and all that stuff. So it was probably around a year-long process with pre-production, production, and post. But that's atypical of anything, especially when a lot of people are doing favors. And we kind of we wrapped the show right before the holidays, so that kind of ate up 2 months of good post-production time, because everyone's doing their Christmas thing or whatever. But yeah, we're really excited with what's happening.
Christmas.
What's that? Christmas. Holiday.
Christmas. I mean, he did play the Grinch, so...
Yes, I played the Grinch Universal, unfortunately.
Unfortunately? I thought that would be a good thing.
Well, no. I mean, the reason Jim Carrey made $300,000 million is because of the makeup. I mean, it was a nightmare. I did it with Jillian back when she was 8 years old at Universal Studios. It was the first year they ever did the Grinch, and I was the Grinch, and she was Cindy Lou Who.
Oh,
yep.
I did not know that.
So that's how we met, and then we discovered each other years ago doing the web circuit. She was doing Misbehave, and I was doing McCracken. And, in talking, we're like, oh, my God, you were there? I was there. And she's like, Brian? I'm like, Jillian? It was really funny.
See, this is even more hysterical. So I'm sitting here. I had no idea about the whole the Grinch connection that you two had. And then I was talking to Susan at the ISAs. Oh, by the way, congratulations, ISA winner, Jillian Clare.
Right, Jillian.
Thought I'd throw that out there, just so you know. And it was just so funny. I just walked up to Susan and I was like, it's so funny. I had no idea that this was the same girl who was in the iCarly episode, not iCarly, Victoria's episode, Freak the Freak Out. And it never dawned on me until maybe like a few weeks before I flew out to LA for that event. And I just sat there going like, how slow am I? So
that episode was really funny because they hired me, but they wanted a professional singer to do the role of Haley so that we could go into the studio and I could make myself sound like I can't sing. So in reality, I can sing, and it was really funny because the entire time when I was in the studio recording, the guy who was recording me was just like, okay, I really need you to sound worse. Can you sound worse?
I need you to sound worse.
Try doing this and this and this. And I think we finally accomplished it. We got me to sound pretty bad, and I think there was also some, like, auto-tuning that we had to do to get my voice to that level. But it was really funny because they wouldn't hire anybody unless they were professional singers to do that role, because they wanted somebody who knew how to make them sound bad rather than just, like, trying to wing it.
Sounding bad. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. It was really interesting. But, of course, now people don't think I'm a horrible singer.
Right.
Which is great.
Wonderful. Yeah. Just take that with you now. They actually think I actually sound that bad from the show.
Yeah, they do. It's great. Well, it's going to be wonderful, too, if I'm ever in, like, any sort of, musical movie. People are going to be like, oh, that's not her voice. Did you see her on Freak to Freak Out? I'm just going to have to, like, live this for the rest of my life.
Yep. That is now going to stick with you forever.
It is. I'm going to just have, like, a live streaming something online and just prove that I can sing so that they stop, like, saying that I can't.
That's right.
That's what's going to have to happen. Yeah.
You should totally get on that. Like, do, like, this video web chat thing for all your fans and be like, this is really my singing voice, just so you know.
Listen, I can sing. I don't sound that horrible. I promise you.
I promise you. And speaking of the ISAs, I mean, this was my first ever venture to the ISAs. What a wonderful production that was. Brian Brian actually was the announcer for this.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
You did a very, very, very wonderful job as well.
Thank you.
Yes. Of course, you did even more spectacular towards the end when Sean Kanan and Eric Martsolf was running from inside, and I was just like,
oh my gosh.
He played that off very, very well.
Oh my gosh.
That was funny.
It was, it was the last award of the evening, and both Sean and Eric are in Acting Dead. I'm like, and, their introduction was like, from Acting Dead, Sean Kanan and Eric Martsolf. And, of course, the whole thing went pear-shaped because they're not even on the stage. They're locked outside. I'm just like, this is so typical of those guys. It was awesome. Just awesome.
I blame the whiskey sponsor. There's just too much whiskey before the show.
Right.
There was, and probably most of that went into me. So
okay.
Oh, I don't know. Don't you remember my speech? That was like me 3 or 4 whiskeys in.
That was you 3 or 4 whiskeys in.
Yes.
I think I was already so lit that I was just like, this totally makes sense. I was like,
well, I think that's good because everyone was on the same page then, and I didn't sound
there
crazy.
I mean, really, it was. It was to that point where I was like, and no holds bar on this comment that I'm about to make. The red carpet, I was supposed to do the red carpet, talk to people. I was like, so knocking people with elbows and everything, I was like, oh, F this. I'm going straight to the bar. And so I literally, as soon as everybody said it was open bar, I was like, well, I know where I'm heading to. So I just literally stayed there the entire time. I was like, nope, never mind. I'm going straight to the bar. Hung out there till the start of the show, and then that was it. And then I
don't blame you. I was like, I had to keep going back and forth because I went on the carpet for Acting Dead, but before that I had to go, or after that I had to go back on the carpet. Yeah, I had to go back for Clutch, which is what I won for that night. So I had to keep going back and forth with my different cast members. And in between, I'd just be, like, sneaking more whiskey.
I did. I kept going back to the door to see how it was going, and I kept seeing you going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I was like, nope, can't do it. Went back to the bar, and I was just like, I'm just going to stay right here. So
I don't think so.
Planted it right there. But, as you mentioned earlier before, both of you guys, Brian and Jillian, that you have an amazing cast coming in, especially with guest stars that came into the show. That had to have been a huge process, too, to try to get all of these people to come in to film these episodes, especially if schedules changes on their respective shows that they do outside of this. I'm sure there had to have been a lot of difficulty with that, too, if I'm not mistaken.
There was, and I think there always is when you're casting a movie or casting a play or whatever, but also when you're dealing with, professional top-tier money, you can lock people out. You can contractually lock them into the show, and we didn't have that freedom or that advantage. The good news was all the people that came on board pretty much said yes from the very beginning. They're friends of mine. They're friends of Susan Bernhardt's, our producer, which is really awesome. So everyone was ready and willing to do it. And then, as you say, yes, it was an issue of the puzzle piece. How do we make this Tetris puzzle work. And we just had a couple snags that we got to work out, but for the most part, it ran smoothly once the first day started shooting. But it's scary leading up to it.
Some people who were cast as one person and then they couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And you put them in a different place. Yeah, I thought so.
We had examples of we're like, okay, this person's playing that part unless this person can do it because we wanted her for that part anyway, and this person really wants that part. So it was this whole moving puzzle piece that really didn't lock itself in until a couple days before. Yeah, it's scary. And, the same thing happens with locations. You're like, well, we want Carolyn Hennesy to shoot at this location on Sunday, but we don't know her schedule until a week before. But the people that have this location for us need an answer now. So how much can we pay them to hold it for us? I mean, it's a whole thing. And again, it all comes down to money and deals and friendships and all that stuff. So we lucked out,
Okay. I had to ask too, how long are you in the makeup chair? I mean, seriously, to get all that stuff on. How long does that take? Literally.
Well, it's crazy because it depends on which makeup. Like, if it's Tate as a full-blown zombie, maybe, what do you think, Jillian, 45 minutes, maybe?
Yeah.
That's not too bad.
45 minutes maybe for that.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
But the thing is,
our makeup artist, Jen, was amazing.
Jen Grable, she was phenomenal. But we block shot, meaning if we shot in a bedroom, we shot the whole series that takes place in the bedroom we shot that day. So I have several times where I'm alive and I'm dead, or I'm dead trying to be alive, or I'm alive trying to act like I'm dead. So I have 5 different kinds of makeup all in one day. So I was in and out of the chair many times every day.
Oh, I'm sure.
So that created more of, again, a puzzle piece for Susan, who was handling when and where we shot. She's like, when do we do this? Are you alive or are you dead now? Is this before this happened or after? But it was great. It was great.
Now, I wanted to ask you too, Brian, this was your first Indie Series Awards event as well, or it was?
It was, yeah.
All right.
Well, because they had been in New York prior to this year, right? They were in New York.
They were in New York.
First year in LA. Yeah. And, Susan and I had been working together, so she asked me to announce. And I've been doing voiceovers for 20 years now, animation and cartoons and commercials and stuff. I'm like, yeah, that'd be awesome. I get to stand backstage and just read. Perfect. Love it.
That's it. You didn't have to be seen or all
I had to do anything. It was great.
Just had to be heard. You could even walked in just wearing Uggs or something. And
exactly. Well, first of all, I'd never be caught dead wearing Uggs. But
oh, good. Thank you very much. Thank you.
But it was so well produced.
I love you even more now.
She did a great job. The red carpet was phenomenal, and it was really great for Acting Dead that we had all those people who are, involved in soap operas and indie series as well that happened to be there for red carpet, and it was a great night. It was a great night.
Because I definitely wanted both of your opinions on the fact of such an event like this where we're honoring independent, people that doesn't really get noticed a lot. These actors, I mean, again, just being there, just watching these clips and seeing these people for myself for the very first time and knowing more about a lot of these web series, especially for those I've never even heard of, there's so much talent out there that is going unrecognized. And it's such an honor to see how Roger Newcomb and Kevin and Susan this year put this together and just showcased all of this talent to everybody that was able to see it in their living rooms on their computers, or those that were able to see it in person. I just cannot fathom how much talent goes unnoticed by everybody. And the production values for a lot of these shows are probably even more much better, even more better than what we see on TV. It's just
a lot of the times that's very true. And you touched on a really good point. The fact that all these people are honored and stuff, but it's not just that they were honored, it's how they were honored and the production value of the awards ceremony. We've talked about this a lot, Jillian and Susan and stuff. It has to be top-notch. It has to look professional to start getting the clout in indie series that TV and film and all that stuff get. And so the fact that they had these great edited clips of the actors and the brilliant red carpet and, the open bar, it was a top-notch event production. And that says a lot about what these people are capable of. And anyone else who does anything less than that, I think, is doing themselves and the whole community a disservice.
Well, and I know next year they're going to try to make it even bigger than this year.
Yeah.
Which is great.
It's just phenomenal.
Really?
It's phenomenal, yeah. That made me really happy.
Oh, wow. I hadn't heard that, but that's huge, and that's great to hear that. I'm very, very happy for that. I mean, honestly, I think this is really going to be where it's going to end up. It's going to.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's going to.
Yeah.
And
Well, you already have, like, House of Cards taking over, like,
House of
actual
Cards.
1-hour drama slot on the web. So if we already have that with Kevin Spacey, like, it's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You have that. Orange is the New Black, which I cannot wait for. Oh,
I
my
can't wait for season 2.
Oh, I am so excited. We only got 2 weeks before it's out. I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Me too.
Oh, I love Orange is the New Black. And I started that late. And I actually just...
So did I.
I finished season 1 in one day. And it was like in the middle of March. And people on Twitter were going like...
Oh, really? Okay. So I watched it like a month after it came out.
I mean like March of this year. Like I just started into it, and everybody was like, "You're just now watching Orange is the New Black." I was like, "I'm sorry," but
that finale for season 1 was so good.
I was cheering, just so you're aware. I was.
It was amazing.
It was
and
badass.
I worked with Laura on a film I did called The Kitchen a couple years ago, and it was so interesting watching her play that role because it's just so opposite of who she is in real life. It was crazy.
I just looked at it and I was like, God, she's a really good actress to play this part because obviously all I knew her from was from that '70s show, and just seeing her from that point playing it to this point in this show, I'm just like, damn, she's really good.
I know.
If she's able to play
I know.
it like this, she's really got the chops.
She is. She's a great actor, and when we worked together on The Kitchen, I mean, she was kind of amazing because we shot that film exactly in order because it's one set. The whole film is in the kitchen, and it's in real time. So it's almost like we were doing a play, and we kind of rehearsed it that way, too, where we just do the whole film multiple times in one day before we started the actual filming process.
Wow.
And it was very interesting, but it was kind of great because it was like doing a play, but it was being filmed, and you got multiple, chances to do the same scene over and over and over again. But in that respect, it was really cool to watch her carry that film like that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool. Now you just had the mid-season finale, if I'm not mistaken. You had a special bonus episode where it just featured Carolyn Hennesy's character.
Oh my God, Carolyn!
Oh, she is a
she's
hoot.
my aunt.
She is a hoot. We all love her here, and she. I have no other words except she's just phenomenal. I'm trying to find other things to describe her, but phenomenal, I think, pretty much is it. And
she does trapeze too, right?
No.
Yeah, I do trapeze with her like almost every week. She's incredible. She's turned into my aunt. Like my mom and her have become so close, and she's literally like my aunt. I go over there and we do trapeze together. It's hysterical.
I cannot believe that she did that entire monologue. Like, everything that she did at ISAs when she hosted it, that was all her. Like, nothing was written for her. She did everything on her own. Wow. Wow. Please
She's
tell me
powerhouse woman.
Please tell me that she did not do any of that stuff in her episode alone. Please tell me that there was a script.
No. That was all done, piece by piece and cleverly edited together. But I tell you, she did have to do big, huge chunks of paragraphs with some very bizarre, I don't know, I write a lot of weird words, like malapropisms and words that don't necessarily exist in this language. And she was so funny. Fortunately, she works on soap operas, so it's kind of that, Jillian,
Sure.
It's that memorize it, say it, get it out of your head.
That's right.
Yeah, trained.
And so it was easy for her in that respect. But she had just come from work. She had just come off General Hospital and stuff. And I'm telling you, she was ready to get dressed, work, make it funny, be brilliant. She's just really really supportive of the show and really talented, and we're honored to have her a part of it.
Oh, absolutely. How could you not? Like, seriously.
Right?
I mean, really. And speaking of which, is there anybody, especially on this show, that you would love to have on it as well? Or you think, like, everybody that you have right now, that's pretty much, nope, that's it. We don't need any more. We have the perfect cast and crew and guest stars as it is. Or do you want to see that one person pop up?
We had originally had plans and talks and stuff with Leslie Jordan. Do you know Leslie Jordan?
Leslie, why does that name
sound so familiar? He's been around forever. He was just featured on American Horror Story this year. He was on Murphy Brown. He's a tiny little short Southern gay man.
Will and Grace.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been around forever. He's brilliant.
Karen Walker's nemesis on Will and Grace. Yes.
There you go.
Exactly.
He was also in The Help. He played the boss at the newspaper for In The Help, and he's just a great guy. And he's friends with the twins, Larry and Gary Lane. And we were getting ready to do the deal to get him into our show, and then he booked American Horror Story and had to head out to New Orleans to shoot that. So I would love to get him back. I've got a part for him for season 2, and yeah, I mean, I've got a bunch of people on my wish list, but I'll definitely have everyone else that we had before. I'd love to have them back as well.
Definitely, of course,
for sure.
And when do we return?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. My house still isn't clean from the first one, so let's get that going.
You got to clean the house first, okay?
I got to clean the house. I got to, take zombie blood out of the trunk of my car. I've started writing some ideas down already, about 5 episodes worth. We're also, much to Jillian's dismay, or I don't know, glee. We're thinking of a musical episode or a musical movie version. Which I'm excited about.
See, now you could really prove that she can sing even more.
Exactly.
I could do that.
Saying.
Yeah. It could be like hey, I can sing, and then people are just gonna be like, oh my god, remember when she couldn't sing? I wonder if they're auto-tuning her.
Right. She's lip syncing.
Little do they know, everybody else is auto-tuned.
That's when you got to put that disclaimer up.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm really singing. This is not a fake voice. Just
right.
So you're aware.
This is not fake at all.
Not at all.
I actually sang this in a cave.
We will tweet it out too. Like, just so you know, that episode you're watching right now, she's really singing. I'm just saying.
This is her real voice.
That's right. Now, where can we find all of you guys at? Let's pimp out your Twitter handles, the Acting Dead Twitter handles, everything. Let's pimp you out. Where
Go first, Jillian.
I'm at Jillian Clare, JILLIANCLARE. A lot of people tend to put an I in my last name, and there is no I in that last name, guys. No Aaron Clare.
That's right.
And I am at Twitter, at Brian Beacock, and I'm also on Facebook. And you can find the show at actingdead.com. We are Acting Dead at Facebook, and Twitter we are at Acting Dead. It's very simple.
Very good. Very, very good. Now, we'd love to have you back here at the Buzz anytime, especially when the show comes back up and running.
Oh,
please return. The door is always open for you guys. I would love to have you back.
Thank you so much. I appreciate being here.
Many thanks to Brian Beacock and Jillian Clare for stopping by the podcast today. You can catch all of the episodes that have been posted of The Acting Dead on its website at actingdead.com. You can also follow its official Twitter at Acting Dead. But that's it for me for right now. I'm Novell J. Lee, making sure you keep getting the latest buzz with Buzzworthy Radio by logging onto our website at www.buzzworthyradiocast.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at Buzzworthy Radio and liking us on our Facebook page. We'll see you guys next time. Take care.
From Twitter to iHeartRadio, Buzzworthy is everywhere. Missed the show? Log on to buzzworthyradiocast.com for past shows and videos of some of your favorite stars. Stay connected to Buzzworthy Radio.